Welcome to Hampton Court, King Henry VIII's favourite home. Enjoy the splendid architecture. See where the Tudors revelled and jousted. Walk through the Stuarts' elegant gardens. Relive their indoor pursuits. And meet the dynasty that followed, the Georgians. It takes just over 30 minutes to travel from central London to Hampton Court. Thomas Wolsey acquired Hampton Court in 1514, the same year he became Cardinal Archbishop of York. Some felt that this clever son of an Ipswich butcher had outreached himself by building a palace to rival that of any king of Europe. Wolsey very cleverly presented the palace to Henry VIII in 1525. However, he still continued to add to the building. As cardinal, he built a new chapel with a cloister for state processions. In his dual role as Lord Chancellor, Henry's chief minister, he welcomed and negotiated with foreign dignitaries at the palace. The end came for Wolsey when he could not persuade the Pope to nullify Henry's marriage to Catherine of Aragon so he could marry Anne Boleyn. In 1529, Henry expelled Wolsey from Hampton Court forever. The Hampton Court kitchens served over 1,200 meals a day. Fish Court, which was located in the centre of the kitchen complex, provided storage for ingredients such as fish. The several smaller kitchens were used for preparing food, boiling pie fillings, cooking meat joints. The Great Kitchens was a huge room. Now it is divided into 3 spaces. In the Tudor era, the Great Kitchens were used for roasting fresh meat, mostly beef, on the spits in front of the 6 great fires. Hi there. At the end of the great kitchens were serving hatches through which the completed dishes were passed and then taken to the great hall. If you ever visit Hampton Court, look out for the wine cellar and the chocolate kitchen. Before visiting perhaps the most famous part of the palace, King Henry VIII's apartments, let's take in this ornate wine fountain and Henry VIII's astronomical clock. Though he had 55 palaces to choose from, Henry VIII enjoyed coming to Hampton Court. The Great Hall is the largest room in the palace, over 100 foot long, 40 foot wide, and over 60 foot high. It was used daily for up to 500 people who ate in 2 sittings twice a day. Though Henry built this magnificent hall, he had his own private dining room. His meals were prepared in his own private kitchen under the direction of his privy or private master cook. This is the horn room. It was a waiting room for servants to bring food to the Great Hall. Henry VIII built a huge collection of tapestries. Some of the finest are displayed here in the Great Watching Chamber. It was the first of the king's apartments after the Great Hall, where yeomen were positioned to watch and control access. This is said to be a portrait of the young Henry, and this in his prime. Here Henry stands with his parents and Jane Seymour. This famous portrait shows the last of the Tudor line. Good afternoon. And who is the king during, oh, I can tell, your Tudors?
Indeed, so our king at the moment is King Edward VI. You see, it is 1547. King Henry VIII was died in January. So we have a new king. It is all very exciting and promising.
Oh, you see, a new queen is about to come on the throne.
Well, we do not know. We do hope that Edward will marry at some point in the future, but he is only 9 at the moment.
There was talk of Mary, Queen of Scots, but I believe she is now married to France.
Ah, yes.
So who knows?
Who do you think the king may marry when he is of age?
Yes, we
Let
do
us
hope
hope
so.
We cannot have a queen's household if there is no queen.
Okay. And do you all miss Henry VIII?
No.
It's a very brave thing to admit, Mistress Margaret.
It is also true.
Yeah, he was a little fearsome, but obviously we cannot say that we are unhappy, that we are happy that he is gone. That would not be good.
No, I can say that.
Well, yes, you were not allowed out, of course. So,
Why did you not like Henry VIII?
Because he would not recognize my marriage to my husband.
Ah, who was your husband?
The Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Cranmer.
very important.
Oh, he was beheaded. Was he beheaded?
It's fine this morning, ma'am.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. I know that Henry.
Moment.
I wonder if we should move onwards, for I believe there is a service going on in the chapel. We are happy to continue talking.
That's fine.
We do not wish to interrupt.
No, that's fine. Thank you so much, ladies, for talking to me.
Good day.
Like father, like daughter, Elizabeth I had her own private kitchen. Today it's used as a cafeteria for visitors to the palace. By the late 1600s, the Tudor palace was considered unfashionable. The new monarchs, William III and Mary II, put their stamp on Hampton Court Palace. The Baroque style was a highly ornate and extravagant style of architecture, art and design that flourished throughout Europe in the 17th and first half of the 18th century. It originated in Italy. It's identified by the dome-like ceilings, rows of pillars, frescoes, ornate roofing and entryways. This was furnished by George and Caroline to represent George I. This is Queen Caroline's state bedroom. She was the Queen Consort to George II, who reigned from 1727 to 1760. When her father-in-law, George I, inherited the British throne, he was not enamoured and returned home to Germany. Caroline, who was then Princess of Wales, and her husband set up a rival, more popular court at Hampton Court. When George I returned from Germany, this led to a huge row. The couple were barred from court for many years and separated from their children. After George I's death, this room became Caroline's Gallery, the Queen's Gallery. As one would expect, a palace of this size has sumptuous gardens. This is the Great Fountain Garden. There was also the Broad Walk and the Privy Garden.
I thought that Caesar bloke came and went.
He did, but the Romans had given orders for a new invasion, and this time they were planning to stay.
So what did the Britons do?
Puppy who?
Oh, not Boudica. Boudica, queen of the Iceni tribe, and she wasn't rotten. When the Romans invaded her land, she didn't run away. She attacked.
She went for glory, but it all turned gory. There's no happy ending to this sad story. Big bad Boudica found the one. Big those Romans at the wrong gate. Smashed their armies, burned their cities, which is why she's one of Britain's favorite dames. She will
The palace has a real tennis court. Though the sport was popularised by Henry VIII, it's said that Henry V played a type of tennis. Currently, there is an exhibition at Hampton Court showing the Indian Army's association with the palace. The Chapel Royal at Hampton Court remains in use to this day. In fact, there was a wedding on the day of my visit. Though we couldn't enter, here are some pictures to show the beautiful interior. This is the chapel garden. Can you hear the organ playing quietly in the background? This is King William III's staircase. He wanted to inspire admiration from visitors as they climb this elaborate staircase. The murals are by Antonio Verrio. This room's military theme was created from over 2,000 pieces of arms and armour. This is William's presence chamber. This was the king's great bedchamber where he would receive senior courtiers and ministers. Next door was the little bedchamber where William could go to sleep in peace. There's so much to see at Hampton Court Palace. People who are interested in art, architecture and history can happily spend a whole day here. It was interesting to see, amid all the grandeur, that there were smaller, more intimate rooms, like this drawing room, and an intimate dining space. Back outside, I wanted to explore a place that I remembered from childhood, the Hampton Court maze. The centre of the maze. Now all I have to do is get out of here. Made it.